today, you guys, we will be talking about how moving out of your hometown is such a flex. Okay? It's a flex to break generational curses. It's a flex to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing in your little small town. It is a flex to go outside of the stereotypical a product of your environment flow of things. So I'm here today to talk to you guys about how you should be proud of taking that leap of faith. So, of course, I have my book of things that I wrote down so I can make sure that I stay on topic. Today, I do not have anything to drink. However, I want you guys to grab your drink and grab your notebook so we can really learn something today. However, I will tell you my fragrance of the day, which is Dulce Nacre, which is made by Johan B. This pretty much fragrance boutique called Rebel. Look them up on YouTube. Pretty sure you can find a video or two talking about this fragrance. It's so sweet. It's so sexy. Wonderful summer, fall, spring fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. So, back on topic. So, moving out of your small town is a must if you... I gotta put my phone on Do Not Disturb, y'all. Hold on. So, moving out of your small town is a must if you are this type of person. Adventurous. A visionary. Live your life with a purpose. Those are the top 3 characteristics of a person that either 1 has the aspirations to move, or 2 or both just has the want or the idea to move but just don't know how. It's okay, girl. Get your book. I'm going to tell you some stories along the way, but I'm going to get you there because I was this person. I was the person who had the want and the gumption to move, but I had no idea how. I had no idea what state I was going to move to. I had no idea how any of the process works. I had no idea of, girl, it's as simple as just getting in your car, packing your shit, and driving. But I didn't think that. Everything sound bigger than life when you're in your small town. Everything, you have the want. You have that thing that's in your spirit that wants to move. But it's that doubt, that little voice that tell you, girl, why you want to move? You're going to be back at your mama house. Why you want to move? You know you can't leave that no good ass nigga or that girl. Why do you want to move? You ain't going to do nothing but fail, girl. You ain't got nothing but $100 in your pocket. Why you going to waste all your time? Girl, that little voice, you got to pop that motherfucker in the mouth, okay? I'm telling you, doubt will keep you miserable, stagnated, and stuck. Okay? Yes, it will. So, if you have any of those 3 things, adventurous, you're a visionary, live with a purpose, you are the person that I'm talking to today. So, stop allowing those small town mindsets to stop you. The first thing that comes to mind, if I can find it, it's going to be plain right.
If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. God has shown you some amazing stuff in your life that you thought was brilliant. Then you took it to your friends and your family and you shared it with them and they shot it down. You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. You know why they couldn't see it? Because God didn't show it to them. He showed it to you. Your imagination is real, man.
Who said the worst thing you can do is tell a big dream to a small-minded person. Let me repeat. The worst thing you could do is tell a big dream to a small-minded person. My biggest thing was me. I worked at the casino at the time. I was telling, I'm going to move. I'm going to move. I did not have a direction yet, but I was saying, I'm going to move. The first thing you have to do once you realize that your parents are not going to be your biggest fan unless you have visionary dreamers as parents, okay? You're not going to have friends that's going to want you to go. Because, girl, you the girl that go out every weekend and drink with them. Girl, you're the one who they call and talk about they no good baby daddies to, girl. They're not going to want you to move. They're not going to want you to They're not going to motivate you. And it's not that they don't love you. It's not that they don't care about you. It depends on the friend. That's your job to evaluate your friend group, girl. But most people don't like change from a small town. They like getting up every day, going to their 9 to 5. I'm not a 9 to 5 basher. I still work a 9 to 5. Okay, a better 9 to 5 than I ever would have got as a black female from Alabama. Okay, I make more now. I'm getting ahead of myself, than I ever would have dreamed of making in Alabama without doing roofs, without laying concrete, without working in a factory for 10 plus years. Okay? I work from home by grace. I work from home. I am a escalations manager for IT. IT is big in Texas, okay? And they are willing and wanting to pay you almost $100,000 a year to do a job. They will pay you a third of that to start with no background, with no education or whatever. You will make minimum almost $40,000 with no education of IT in Texas. Okay? So from a small town, that 25, maybe 30 at the max, girl, that 15, 17,000 a year, girl, you don't have to struggle, honey. You don't have to struggle is what this video is about. Follow your heart. Pray, fast, follow your heart. I'm getting ahead of myself, y'all. Give me a moment. Okay, so stop telling your dreams to small-minded people. Once you stop telling your dreams to small-minded people, this is the next thing. You cannot run your dreams or ideas by people who are not visionaries or dreamers themselves, which I pretty much just said that, okay? People who are comfortable with getting up, going to a job, comfortable with sharing a baby daddy with 3 other women on the block or in that town, or people who are comfortable with their granny staying up the road, comfortable with their mama or auntie staying in the trailer behind them, or comfortable just having their babies, running up behind a man, going to their 9 to 5, going to the same events year after year after year. Those are not the people. Comfortable people are your worst enemy if you are looking to move from your small town. Stop talking to those people, okay? I started praying about my situation because I didn't know where to go. I knew if I said something to my parents, you know, my daddy at one point, I didn't say anything to my mom because I wanted to be able to answer her questions, right? So I prayed about it, fast about it. And how I narrowed it down, my brother was in the military. He was a Navy recruiter for the military here in Houston, in Pasadena. Well, he was in Pasadena. He wasn't in Houston, right? So he was a Navy recruiter, and I would talk to him. He was the person, he's my younger brother, but he has traveled all over the world at this point. And I would complain to him about not having enough money, not, you know, working paycheck to paycheck. He was just like, well, it's your fault. And at first it took me aback, like, how the fuck is it my fault? I go to work every day. I'm just not making enough money. He told me, because you're choosing to stay around those small-minded people, you want to be comfortable up under granny and up under mama and daddy versus taking a leap of faith and moving. I've invited you twice to come live in Houston with me and his wife at the time, and you just said, okay, you'll think about it, and you never got back with me. So let's dissect that.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. You know why they say it's not seen? Because your imagination, you are the only one who can see it. So you know what that means? All that stuff you've ever imagined, it's just been God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. The problem with your imagination is you tell it to the wrong people.
So if we dissect that, a small-minded person would have been like, damn, he fucked up. How he gonna tell me that's my fault? But when you are a person who is yearning for change, you will take that as motivation. That's something that you call hard love. That's something that you call in your face without a shadow of a doubt truth. Okay? That was truth that I needed to hear, that the sufferings of my finances and my want for more is being stagnated by me. It's nobody else's fault but my own for the reason why I'm not where I want to be. I remember I was sitting at the nail shop talking to my brother on the phone, getting my fucking toes done, and we're having a real heart-to-heart conversations. Y'all, if you want to move, get around people who will not sugarcoat the truth. Get around people who will tell you what you need to hear versus what you want to hear. Get around people who will tell you the truth so deep, that cut you so deep, you can either get insulted or angry, or you could be like, damn, I need to do better. Get around, it's kind of make my eyes water, y'all. It's make my eyes water, y'all, because I used to be that person who was afraid to drive on the freeway. I used to be that person who was afraid to travel. I used to be that person, and I know what it is to want more, to feel that you are more, but have no idea how to do it, one. And then when you know how to do it, you have a blessing. Let me tell y'all, those opportunities, let's pause at those opportunities, but let me go ahead and dissect this. Tell you the truth. Get around people who want more for you. Get around people who will assist you with finding opportunities. Get around people who are like-minded. I don't know how to say this enough. Stop telling your dreams, wants, and desires to small-minded people. So, like I said, get around people who will tell you the honest truth, okay? Second, you will always be met with negativity and doubt. So at the top of this conversation, I was telling you about that small voice. Now, let's dissect doubt in that small voice. So the small voice could be your inner person, and depends on how you train your inner person, it will motivate you, or your inner person will be your worst enemy. For someone like myself who battles with depression, my self-talk sometimes is horrible. And so when I come out of my depression and I want to do certain things, I have to ignore my self-talk and do what I'm afraid to do, or do what is telling me not to do anyway. And the more you do what you want to do outside of listening to this negative voice that you've allowed to talk to you any type of way, yourself, your mind will only do what you train it to do. If you're a person who was raised around negative people, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a negative person. However, if you want to break that curse, You will, every negative thing your mind tells you, you will give yourself 2 or 3 positives behind it. For instance, girl, I don't even know why you trying to lose weight. You ain't gonna do shit but gain the weight back. I am plus size and I am beautiful. I am going to meet my goal of losing 50 pounds, no matter what I think I can or cannot do. I gave myself 2 positives, and I cast down that negative thought. And once you cast it down, your mind can't do nothing but go forward. So you have to train yourself how to knock down that negativity. When you're trying to do something outside of what your norm is, you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to get in the ring and box self-doubt. I'm here to tell you that now. That's the reason why it's so important to have people around you and in your corner that will encourage you, that will tell you your hard truths, and that will allow you to walk this journey forward. So, you will always be met by negativity and doubt. Anytime you're trying to go against the current of your normal day-to-day, you're going to be met with hardship. That's just the way it is. It's kind of like when you first, girl, you can't get off the couch eating potato chips and ham sandwiches and expect you to be able to run a 10K. It takes you going through the mud, going through the negativities, fighting your self-doubt. It's going to take you meeting those issues head on and trucking forward. So, moving on. This is the biggest point to what I have to say. Stop being a product of your environment. So, I had a conversation with my brother about this before I actually started this video, because I wanted a second opinion of what a product of your environment really is. So, from my understanding, here's the definition of what product of your environment means. However, a product of your environment from experience, as well as the conversation that my brother and I had, is you are naturally a good person. You are naturally an adventurous and artistic. You're very, great. You're a great person. However, because of your surroundings, let's say if you live in New York or whatever, or California, where gang life is a big deal and it's a way of life for some people, that is something that is categorized as a product of your environment. You know in yourself, as well as you have family telling you that you are more than what you are choosing to be. However, your friends are in the lifestyle, which a lot of parents don't understand, that kids spend 90% of their life around the people they are in what they consider friends in school. So it doesn't really matter how you're raised at home. It matters about who your friends are and who you spend majority of your day with. You get up at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. You're at school from 7:15, 7:45, 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock, sometimes 2:45, depending on where you go. Who you just spent majority of your time with is who the product of who you're going to be. If you're around smart, educated, free-flowing people, funny people, geeks, drug dealers, people who break into cars and things like that, you are that person that you hang around until you have that aha moment towards 10th, 11th, 12th grade, where you switch. There's a switch that happens when you're in high school. So I'm talking about high school because so it can make more sense of being a product of your environment. Who you spend majority of your time with is who you are as a person. And I didn't understand that for a very long time.
Nobody wants to be doing the best in their circle. So what happens is subconsciously you make yourself do worse. Because if I'm a decent person, right, and I have some level of, morality and some level of consciousness, if I live in a neighborhood where every single person is struggling, I feel bad driving a Lamborghini through that neighborhood. Feels like I'm showing off. Feel like I punch them in their stomach every single time. They're struggling. They don't have $5 in their account. Why would I want to do that? So what do? I self-sabotage myself. Without even knowing it. You self-sabotage yourself because you're more comfortable being average. You don't want to excel because your best friend is struggling. So you excelling is actually, you feel like you're showing off on them. Sometimes we have to change our environment. Sometimes we have to change the people around us. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's the only reality that we're faced with.
So, recap: negativity, self-doubt, being a product in your environment. What I mean by being a product of your environment is pretty much who you spend your time with, the activities that you choose to do based on the people that you hang around. You are a product of your environment. Feeling like you do not belong is how you know that you are a product of your environment. You know in your heart that you're not supposed to be doing these types of things, but yet and still you're doing them because that's what your quote unquote your society is saying, where you live, where you stay. Feeling like you're an outsider. So pretty much the conversation that my brother and I had was just pretty much breaking it down what being a product of your environment was, one. And two, it's not really your reality of who you are genuinely. Being a product of your environment is if you never make a change, you are what you hate, basically. Being around people who think being on a plane is a wild idea. However, my granny, sorry y'all. Y'all know I'm kicking the last little bit of that crud that I had out the window. She's my baby. I love her to death. But my granny has never been outside of Alabama. Never. So my mom never really traveled while she was with my dad. Like, they'll take road trips, but like getting on a plane, like my granny, she will never get on a plane. My cousin Shamika, she would never get on a plane. These are conversations that we had being around family members and some people who will always rent. They will rent a house, but they'll never buy a house. However, just being around, it depends on who you around is who you will become. So being around small-minded people who think buying a house is just astronomically just not a thing. Being around people who thinking they'll never take a plane ride. You have to get around, you have to get away from those type of people. Getting away from people who think going to other countries is you trying to be bougie and live outside your means. You wanting a better job. But girl, why are you trying to get a better job when you know this pay the bills, Get away from those types of people. Get away from people who have allowed society, their circle, to be all that it is. And one thing that helped me break that stigma off my life was thinking of Prattville, Montgomery, Alabama as a window, like a single room in a world that God has created. So you mean to tell me, like, I'm in a house, in a room, and it's other states and countries?
Hello, you guys. So I really wanted to kind of break down what I was trying to explain here. Only thing I was trying to explain is breaking the glass ceiling off of your mind, understanding that there's so many other opportunities in life that you can, more than you can ever imagine, available to you. And once I was able to realize that it was more to life than what my small town had me thinking versus the people that I was hanging around, once I realized that, I had to move. That's all that I was saying. I hope you guys are understanding the point of this video.
Okay, now that you know that you have to break curses that are on your life, now that you know that you have to get around away from small-minded people, now that you know that you have to change your mindset, now that you know that you will face negativity, and now that you know that you have to fight self-doubt, now that you know that you got to get around more positive people, people who want you to who have opportunities, who will allow you to network with them, things like that. Or, you know, what I mean by network with them, sometimes when you are in a small town, you don't have a person who have a networking system. However, you have a person who's like-minded. Y'all can do research. Y'all can figure out how much it is on average a month to live somewhere. Y'all can go online and look at apartments, or look at how much it is to rent a home in the state that you're looking to move to. There are so many different avenues that you could take with a like-minded person, that y'all could either move together, or this person can see that you have a safe transition. So now that we know all of that, how can I move out of my small town? You can move out of your small town, first things first, taking any opportunity, creating an opportunity for yourself. No matter if that's going to college, no matter if that's looking for, let's say you actually went to college in your small town, and you went to school to be a nurse, you went to school for dentistry, you know, whatever business, whatever opportunity you went to school for, whatever state that you're interested in, look for jobs in that state. I have a friend by the name of Amber. She went to college for social work. Things were not working out for her, and girl, we looked up. Amber's in Washington, D.C. She's in Washington State, honey. She's doing what she needs to do. She broke those stigmas, honey. And she moved her and her son to the great state. And I'm so proud of her. So that's one way to move, is opportunity. Either going to college, you already have graduated with a degree and you're looking for a job. Or if you have distant aunties, distant uncles, distant, cousins or family that's in other states, that is a way to get your feet wet. Hey, auntie, I know we ain't talked in a long time. However, I'm looking to moving out that way. Maybe you and I can come up with a plan. Maybe you can help me find a job or something before I move, whatever, right? So how my opportunity worked was me speaking with my brother. I moved in with my brother and my sister-in-law. We came up with a plan. So first things first, we came up with a plan. The plan was I was going to move to Houston with him and my sister-in-law and my niece, and I was going to work. I had got my tweet card, as well as I had an opportunity to work on base. My job fell through. Couldn't get a job because I was a feminine female with a twit card, and pretty much twit card gets you kind of like dock work, or let me explain. Let me slow down. So pretty much a twit card can get you working at the ports. Houston is a major port state. So you have oil ports, you have food ports, you have ships going in and out. So working at the ports, port yard or whatever. However, being a feminine woman in those types of jobs that are predominantly men was unsafe for me. And the woman that I was going through, she was just like, I do not recommend. Girl, I went to my interview with lipstick and lashes on. Uneducated. Excuse me, y'all. Uneducated about the field that I had already, felt like this is in my financial bracket. This is that. Fell through, girl. So when I first moved to Houston, I had a lot of oppositions that hit me at one time. I thought I was coming with a solidified job, end up not getting a job. So I ended up having to work at a call center. This was my second introduction to call centers. I did work at call centers in Alabama. I worked for Bell South in Alabama. However, moving to Texas, I ended up working at a call center making $10 an hour. Still, $10 was still more than what I had been making in Alabama at that time, which was in October 2016. So worked at the call center, met people, met a lot of girls that was open to having new friends. They pretty much showed me the nightlife. They showed me, you know, different opportunities. So one of the girls I was working with by the name of Jamie Yale, she was a advocate. Girl, I'm not staying at this job. I won't be here long. Wow. Girl, this is just a pass-through opportunity. Meeting people that were, majority of the women that I ran into was just like, girl, this is a pit stop job. I got laid off last week, and I know coming here, they'll hire me. So even God put me around people who were still in that mindset of how my homegirl was back home. She ended up moving to Dallas. I ended up coming to Houston. Fine. So I ended up getting a job there. I got my resume together, started putting in applications. Boom. Went for an interview, girl. They had margaritas. They had music. People was dancing, girl. The IT community, their call center is a lot different. However, my brother was like, you need to be careful, because if they serving y'all alcohol, how stressful is that job? I was excited. So I went from making $10 to $14. So I would say 3 months after having that job, I went from making $14 to $18.50. And then, you know, girl, God just kept blessing me. Still, I've only been in Houston 6 years now, January 27th, 23rd. I've been at my job almost 6.5 years. Well, hold on. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 5 years this year. Next year will be January 23rd will be 6 years that I got a job, because I moved to Houston October 2016. I got a job at my current job, the IT job, January 23rd. So I worked at the call center doing some cable, making those $10. I worked there from when? November. So October, didn't have no job. November, got a job at the call center. Worked there up until January when I got the job in IT. So I've been there and I'm still there. Still got the loyal mentality to a job where I come from. However, my finances are not stagnated. They're willing to promote. They're willing to throw out the money. You understand what I'm saying? And there's even more companies who move you quicker than 5 years to make, you know, the minimum of what I'm making. You understand what I'm saying? There's always better to happen. There's always better to come. Never be stagnated. So the next thing is you will put more. So once you move from your hometown, let's say your job fall through. Let's say you only move with $100, $1,000, $800, $8,000, and something happened. You will always be met with obstacles. However, I can almost bet you my last dollar that you moving, you will strive harder to be more. You will be more successful moving than you would staying in your hometown. I wrote this down. You will put more effort forward towards succeeding if you were to leave your hometown than to stay, because you will have only you to fall back on versus the safety net that your family and friends would provide. That is absolutely true. When those jobs fell through when I first got here in October, girl, I made sure I destroyed my safety net in October. I had an apartment, furniture, nice furniture. I had everything. I sold everything. Everything. I paid off everything. I got in my car. I filled my Honda up with what will fit. I sold everything. My friends thought I was absolutely batshit crazy. And I moved with $100 in my pocket and my last check being from the casino being deposited into my account that upcoming Friday. I drove from Montgomery, Alabama to Houston, Texas with $100 in my pocket. And I don't regret one bit of it. Because I took the leap of faith. Take the leap, homegirl. I promise you. Let's say this. Even if you do fail to the point that you gotta come home, go home. Save up your money and try again. Pray again. Fast again. Maybe that was not the right time. Maybe that was just an opportunity to see if you would do it. I encourage anybody who wants to break the chains to move. You moving, you having the opportunity, if you want to be successful in life, take the leap and move. Plan it, save it, fast, do it. Girl, let me know in the comments down below if you always wanted to move from your hometown but you was too afraid to do it. Let me know what was your travel journey. Let me know what states you've moved to. I would love to hear it in the comments below. I know this video may have been a little bit all over the place. However, I am super passionate about people taking opportunities because I'm 37 years old. If I would have followed my heart and my dreams younger, I would be so much farther in life. However, nothing happens by mistake. Nothing does. And that's something that I try my best to drill into my wife. Nothing happens by mistake. Our latter parts of our lives are going to be the best version of ourselves. We're going to be the best version of ourselves. But the point is that we're not stagnated. When we visit our parents, when we go home to visit our parents, you have those same people doing the same thing. If they're not on food stamps, which ain't nothing wrong with that. We didn't all been there. I've been there begging for food stamps and got denied. You understand what I'm saying? People, oh, what's up, big money? People think these people have expectations of you because you made the jump. That's the reason why I don't encourage anybody who's a rapper. They always go home and die. Because people have these falsified notions of who they created you to be because you did something outside of what they created as normal. People think, oh, you done moved to Houston, you got big money. I do have more money than I've had ever working in Alabama, but that doesn't mean that I'm big money. Big money come big responsibilities. Shit, I'm living in a state where you can live for $545 with a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom over 1,000 square feet. Baby, I'm living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, maybe 900 square feet for $1,300 in a not so promising neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. There's a difference, but I'm not gonna stop wanting more, being more, conquering more because of where I come from. It's been plenty of nights I've cried myself to sleep because I was alone. I didn't have anybody. When my brother and my sister-in-law had to move, they had to move to California. I got my apartment. I slept on the floor for 4 to 6 months on an air mattress. Until I met this girl by the name of Lanice. She was like, girl, I know this place where you can go get a bed frame and a mattress. Girl, dirt cheap. Girl, I got my mattress, a Serta mattress, for $100 in the Mexican neighborhood in Little Tijuana. Still in the plastic. Went to IKEA. Got a bed frame. They had them on sale for $87. The girl Jamie that I met at the thing, she helped me put my bed frame together. Girl, the first night I laid in my bed, it was pouring down raining. I'll never forget it. The first thing I thought about was all those people that's living in Tent City. Those people that's up under the bridge, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother calling. That's a whole nother thing. But girl, I'm here to tell you it's okay to crawl before you walk. But if something inside of you is pushing you to get the hell on from that small town because God has more for your life. than that small town can offer. And one thing I never wanted was a shared baby daddy, and I ain't want no woman that everybody didn't have. I never wanted anyone to be able to come to me and talk about, ooh, and fighting and arguing over somebody when I can move out of all of that. It's more to life than drinking. It's more to life than partying. However, life is meant to have a good time. But how can you have a good time when your pockets are empty? How can you have a good time? I just couldn't understand it. And I'm not looking down on anybody who's comfortable where I'm from. Because that's your life. But my life, I had to do something different. And I'm here to encourage anybody who does. I love y'all. I look forward to seeing y'all in the comments. See y'all soon. See y'all in the next one. I love you. God love you. Bye.